Now what you'll need when you're redoing a transmission is you're going to need all the new clips inside, because you don't want to ever reuse those, because of once you spread them apart, they can get loose in there, and that can keep, when these gears are sliding against, they can keep it from holding into place, and it can make it come apart. So, okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to rip apart the main and the secondary on your transmission. And what you want to do before you even get started doing this, make sure you have new snap rings. You want new snap rings, because once you spread them apart, they have a little bit of memory life in them, and they can keep the memory life of you spreading it or of it being worn out, and when you go to put it back together, it's not going to go back together correctly. It will, but with the gears sliding and trying to escape, they could possibly escape. So what I like to do is I like to lay out 2 paper towels on my toolbox. One is for your main shaft, one is for your secondary shaft. Well, enough said, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, set it up how you want it. Pull it off. Always make sure you know what side the wears are on. Those are always important. Pull your gear out, your inner collar, your top. Now you have a little clip in here. And you should have a washer right here. Gear, race, another washer, main shaft. Next we'll move over to the secondary. Pull your gear off. You have a center shaft. You should have a washer right here. First gear. Now you got a snap ring right here. I had to switch snap ring pliers. My last ones were kind of worn out. Then you're going to have a washer right here. Another gear with an inner collar. See if there's any burnt spots, any rough edges, anything like that. Make sure this gear looks okay. You can see a little bit of wear on it. Now what you're going to want to use is assembly lube, and everybody has their preference on what they use and what they like. This is just easy to get a hold of. I can go down to my store and buy this anytime I need, and Lucas is a very good brand. So, like I said, this is just convenient. That's why I use it. It's easy to get a hold of. A lot of times you're in a pension, you don't have time for Maxima to send it. But what I'll do is I'll start the assembling process with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this assembly lube. I'm just going to put a little bit right here. I'm going to rub it in there. I'm going to take some, put it on the inside and the outside. Rub that assembly lube all over. Don't be afraid to use too much. It's assembly lube. It's always good to have more than not enough. Now, same thing. Even though I put it on the other, like I said, it's not bad to have too much. Use this assembly lube. This gear sticks out like that. Now what I'm going to do, wipe the fingers off. Now I'll put this new snap ring on. And when I do these new snap rings, you want to make sure that you stay as tight as possible. You don't want to stretch it out, so just go just a little bit. Just keep that pressure. I got stuck in this groove because I don't want any pressure. And then we're going to slide it down. And what we're going to listen for is a snap. We want to hear the snap. If you don't hear the snap, get a new snap ring. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your little washer here. Like I said, it can never be too much assembly lube. Slide it down on. Now you're going to take your new snap ring. And you don't want to stretch this out. So don't get too fast with it because it's got a memory. You're going to take this and you're going to work this down and you're going to wait to hear the snap. If you don't hear the snap, you need a new snap ring. Hear that snap? So just like I have it laid out. Throw you some assembly lube in there. It's going to slide down that way. Now you're going to have a snap ring here. And there's a sharp edge and a smooth edge. I like to make sure the sharp edge, I should have said that to begin with. I like to make sure the sharp edge is always pointing up. Slide that down. Hear that snap? Now I'm going to take some assembly grease or assembly lube. Put it around here. Drop that down on. We'll take this, drop that on. Now I'm going to put some assembly lube on this. On the inside and the outside, I'm going to slide this down right in there. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I had it laid out for a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this seal on, or this washer. I'll put that on. And I'm going to put this last gear on. Assembly lube on that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this, then we're going to put the collar, and then we're going to put our gear. Then we're going to put our little gear collar washer piece here. And then we're going to cut our snap ring open. Same thing. You want to make sure you hear that snap. If you don't hear that snap, that needs to be, you definitely need to replace that. But either way, I'd always recommend replacing that. Next, your gear with the shift fork on it goes down. Then you're going to take this washer here, set that on. Your collar. And this is kind of a dead giveaway here, that these indentations here are going to connect to the inside of this. They aren't here, but they are here. So that's kind of a dead giveaway that that's going to go that way. Now your washer, take that, put that on. Now that side's assembled. We'll flip over to this side. What we'll do is coat the inside of this. This piece is going to shift fork, will slide towards this gear here. Then you're going to have a washer. Coat the inside of this. Make sure it's all coated. Now this has the orientation to catch here as well. So that's a giveaway there. And orientation, what I mean is it's got these indents here to catch and grab on those there. Take that, slide that on. Take your last washer. Put that there. And just like that, guys, we are done with the transmission. It's ready to go back in, ready to go back together. So if you guys have any questions on how to identify, how to tell if there's anything that I didn't cover for you, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and I will go back and see what I can find. This won't be the only project that I'm doing, so when you guys point things out that you'd like to see, I can make sure that I can go through and identify what the questions are that you're asking on another transmission, because I should be redoing this 2000 KX250 that I ride all the time. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'd like to go into it, make sure everything's completely fine. So there's multiple projects that are going to be in the future. So if there's anything that I missed that you guys want to see, make sure you guys let me know. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you for watching SGMX.